Happy Tuesday, it's 10 a.m. As promised. I'm live to show you how to create little slideshow videos with your Photoshop layers so that you can incorporate video into your workflow and elevate it. So just so everybody knows, I am recording this as a screen capture on my computer where I hope to be able to upload it, space permitting on my computer, to YouTube. So just so everybody knows. I am just going to wait a little bit to see if anybody joins so that I can get started with the tutorial. And it shouldn't be too much longer. I'm just going to flip my camera to make sure that you can see my screen. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Hi, Jen. Hi, Pedro. Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody hear me okay? I just want to make sure. Okay, great. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate you. All right. Also, I've done my very, very best to focus this on my screen so that you guys can see it. Are you able to at least see my screen mostly, or for the most part? Let me fix this. So I have this really crazy setup here on a little table because I don't have the right tripod to record this, as I've just realized. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm teaching you first and foremost. So these examples are from short to longer, and they're not intended to be more than 1 minute for Instagram. So this is my first example. And as you see, you can also use these videos on, thanks Pedro, on Facebook. Where I really like to use them is over on YouTube as well. And I record them, so I'm going to show you two different versions, like the YouTube version and the Instagram version. This is the YouTube version. Jen, I am so glad that you asked that. I am going to be showing you how to do videos for YouTube as in landscape, Instagram as also landscape, and lastly, how to rotate your videos if they're recorded landscape to fit Instagram TV. Hey, Benny. Alright, so that's the YouTube version. And the difference between both is one of them has my branding and one of them doesn't. So I try to keep the one for Instagram as short as possible. The one on YouTube, I put my branding for Instagram because that's the social media that I use the most. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get started with Photoshop. And we're going to open a file in Photoshop. Today we're going to be using one of my newer pieces that I just published on my blog, which is Field of Dreams. I'm going to open my PSD file, and once that opens, I'm going to turn off all of the layers. And I'm only going to do this, show you this a couple of times because I'm hoping that you'll know how to save your files appropriately, but this is just to go through the process from A to Z. Alright, so this is the final image. So the video essentially is going to take us from the beginning all the way until this right here. So I'm going to show you my layers real quick over here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to turn these all off. All the way down to the bottom. And you can either start with a plain white screen, or you can start your video with your original image. So here it is. This is the first layer. And what I'm doing is I generally also don't like to show the retouching part. So see how I touched her a little bit? I don't really like to include that in my video, especially like I don't want to make the model feel like she's not perfect. So this is kind of like the dirty little secret that I keep to myself. Hola, Talia. And this is a dirty little secret that I keep to myself. I don't include this in my files. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Save As here on my computer. And I'm going to title it Video. Video 1 right here. And these are all my files because I've already created it. So save it as Video 1 JPEG. And when you hit save, make sure you save the highest quality. So I'm going to hit replace. Let's see if the prompt comes up. Okay, so right here where it says JPEG options, I'm just going to do the highest quality possible and click on OK. And I'm essentially going to repeat this step over and over and over until all of the layers have been saved. So let me do a few more examples over here. I got my layers all the way over here on the right hand side. And I am just adding layers one by one. Oftentimes, if there's a dramatic enough change that I wish to be in the video, I will not do like the curves layer. So for example, this is just the trees layer that I added on top of her. And pinned to this layer is this curves layer that makes it darker. Now, depending on how many layers you have, again, we're trying to keep this under 1 minute for Instagram. So I'm probably going to turn both of these layers on and then go to File, Save As, and do Video 2, because this is the second one in the sequence. Go to JPEG, hit save, make sure that the quality is set all the way to maximum, and then save it. I'm going to show you my layers again, and we're going to do just a few more examples. So I'm scrolling all the way down. Now I'm turning this one, actually this one I deleted, so let me just delete this layer. I'm turning on the fog. So I added fog to her, and I'm going to do the same thing. File, Save As, and now it's Video 3 because this is the third one in the sequence. So I'm going to do the same thing, change from Photoshop PSD to JPEG. Make sure that both of these match. I've often had this one be PSD and this one JPEG because I clicked on a file name and it corrupts the file to where I can't open it. So it's always good to make sure that your extension and format match. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then I'm just going to be going down the layers this way as well as I build my edit. And I'll go ahead and save this one as Video 4. Same thing, JPEG high quality. Make sure that your extension and your format match and then hit save. Now the reason why I'm actually physically not saving them is because I already have these files pre-made for this video and because I also created this video this past week. So I'm clicking don't save on my original PSD because I don't want to edit my original PSD file. Now, what I'm going to do, my next step is I'm going to import those files into iMovie. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up on my computer. And I'm going to go back to my projects over here. And the first thing that I want to do is create a new project right here. New movie. And then I need to go ahead and import the files that I want to use. So all of those files that you just saved, all these video files, we're going to click on the first one, scroll all the way down, click Shift on your keyboard, and then click on the last one. And that selects all of those files. I'm going to drag and drop onto my desktop right here. So as you see, this minute is now 3 minutes and 4 seconds long. That is way too long for social media. So we need to do some editing of the length that each one of these images plays. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that they're all selected. So that, again, I click on the very first and the very last image. So I click on this one. I'm going to hit Shift on my keyboard. While holding it, I'm going to click on the first one. And that selects all of these files down here. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm trying to move things so you guys can see what I'm doing, is go to the little I button up here. And this I button is information. Right here, you see 4. I'm going to change it to 1.2 seconds. And I recommend that you test this out on your own, for yourself to see if it's too fast, too slow, just to see how the pace of the transitions are from image to image. So I now know that this video will be 53 seconds long. And I know that because it tells me right here. And I apologize, the fan on my computer is going off because I'm doing a screen recording of this video to hopefully be able to upload it to YouTube. So when I hit play, oh, and I forgot to change this. Okay, I'm so glad that happened. So I'm clicking on the very first image right here. Again, I'm trying to move the camera for you guys. Clicking on the first and then moving my mouse over, and I'm going to hit Shift, click to the last one. And up here, at the very top right here, you'll see cropping. Click on that, and you see it automatically selects Ken Burns. We're going to select Fit, and then hit the check mark. This will fix that annoying zooming in and out that you just saw. So if I hit the space bar, it'll start playing the video. And it goes through this sequence for all 53 seconds. And to me, that pace is good. That is a great question, Jen. The only time I use built-in transitions in iMovie is for the YouTube version. So I'm currently working on the Instagram version. Once I do the YouTube one, I'll use transitions. And normally my transitions that I use, that I really like, are the cross dissolve or the fade to black. I like to keep things a little simple. It's just the way that I like to work. If you're out there, you are welcome to choose from any of these myriad of transitions, whatever fits your brand, your style, your personality. All right, so now that I know that my video is about 53 seconds long for Instagram, this gives me a reference for how long it's going to be when I pick music. So now I'm going back online, and I'm going to show you 2 resources that I like to use. 2 of them are paid, and 2 of them are free. So that way you can't tell me that I'm not showing you freebie stuff. The first one is Free Music Archive. Now, super sad day. They're actually closing on November 16th. They're shutting down their website. So if you can get on there and download music beforehand, do it. I definitely recommend it. There's some really great artists on there. Just make sure that you read the copyrights on there. Most of them are Creative Commons. And so when you click on a song, it'll tell you kind of the use of the song. Right here on the right hand side, it'll tell you what the icons are. So it'll tell you you're free to share, copy, redistribute, adapt under the following terms. And you see how it says non-commercial? So you can't use it for like commercial purposes like paying for advertisements and that. And I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me on this. Make sure you read the copyrights before you use any music. I don't want this coming back to me. It's always good to read the instructions. So Free Music Archive is a great one. And Free Music Archive is what I used to use when I first started posting my speed edit videos on YouTube. And I really like this artist, Sergey Sheremetsinov, and I am so sorry if I mispronounced your name. But the reason why I like his music is because it's very peaceful, classical, and it just really fit with the mood that I was trying to go for in my videos. So Free Music Archive is one of the resources, and Free Music Archive is freemusicarchive.org. However, the great news is that they've moved some of their music to archive.org right here. And you can check out their most, I think it's most downloaded or most popular songs. They've moved part of their collection on here. And it's the same thing. Just make sure that you read the copyrights on the songs. And if you can use them for yourself and your YouTube channel. The next one is YouTube itself. YouTube, if you are in your creator studio, which is, I would just go to youtube.com/audio library. And it's down here. And you can listen to a myriad of different songs right here. If you go to music policies on the left-hand side, it'll tell you what songs you can't use on your videos. So, for example, Faded, which makes me super sad. It's looks like you can use a song and they will play back ads on it. But for example, Dr. Dre does not allow anybody to use his music on their YouTube videos, and it will be blocked or muted. Now, I personally do not like to use songs from my iPod that I've personally purchased for hearing on my videos. I'm afraid that somewhere down the line, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm just a big old scaredy cat. You're welcome to live life as adventurously as you want, but know that the music policies for YouTube are here. Now, if you've ever noticed by using one of these songs, for example, Dr. Dre or Faded by Alan Walker, which is a really popular song, and you've uploaded a video to Facebook and it gets taken down, it's because of the music. You don't have copyright to it. Facebook will make you agree that you have the copyright to the music, and that just opens you up for a whole myriad of issues, especially if you've downloaded it for personal use, meaning that you can only really listen to it on your phone, your iPod, your iPhone, etc. All right, so those are the two free music resources. We have Free Music Archive and we have YouTube. I'm more than sure that there's more free music out there. Just maybe Google music for videos, common, I already forgot what it's called. Creative Commons. And I'm sure websites will go ahead and appear that you can use music, and it'll tell you the terms for which to use it. So if you guys have any questions so far, please just post. If I'm talking too fast, also let me know. I'm doing my best to be as thorough as possible. All right, so I need to pick, I didn't go over paid. I have 2 subscriptions. I do Audio Blocks and I do Free Music Bed. I like Audio Blocks because, and I like Music Bed as well because it's a membership that you pay for on a yearly basis, and you can download music as much as you want. So this is one of my sites that I use, and then Free Music Bed. And I have taken to, not Free Music Bed, oh my goodness, I got free on my mind. I've taken to Music Bed a lot because it's actual artists that post their songs on there, and I like to give them credit on my YouTube or on the video itself. Especially if it's like a song where there's vocals and, you just want to help each other out if you can or if you want to. But now we need to go ahead and pick out a song for our video. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to go back to the original video that I created because I don't remember the name of the song that I picked out. But I wanted something playful for this one specifically because that was the whole point of the video itself. The one that I picked out originally was called What We've Been Waiting For, Instrumental. And now on most of these websites, right here, you can go by genre, mood, artist, attributes, instrument, etc. And oftentimes I will go by instrument or by genre or mood. I tend to like a lot of classical music, but for this one, I really, really wanted the mood to be happy. So I put in happy. I try to put in uplifting to see what kind of songs came up that would represent the video and the piece that I'm trying to create on iMovie. And I came up with this one, which is called What We've Been Waiting For. I chose the instrumental version. And I liked it because it was happy and upbeat, which I really felt represented the mood of my video. A lot of times I like to go for instrumental versus vocals because the vocals might not necessarily align with your video. And that's some of the things that you need to keep in mind when you're creating video content. It might be called What We've Been Waiting For, but what if they have words that are really angry and not, and hateful, or maybe they're talking about, you have a piece that's about children and they're talking about violence in schools. So you need to be really, really mindful when picking out your music. This was a song that I selected. Once you know what you want, you can go ahead and hit the download button on whatever website you're using. And pull up iMovie. I'm going to go back to the original file that I created for this tutorial, which is this one. And I'm going to go ahead, I should have this under downloads right here. What we've been waiting for, instrumental license. And I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it into iMovie. So as you see, it places the track down here. And our video is less than a minute long, so we need to go ahead and select what minute we want to use for this video. And so I'm going to hit the space bar and just let it play. And what I did was I clicked further down here just to kind of see where it was ending. And oftentimes that's good enough for me. I'll click over here at the very end, and down here where the music is, I will hit Control on my keyboard and then go split clip. What that'll do is it'll split the music, and I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. Now we need to make a couple of different adjustments so that the music doesn't just harshly end. Right here you'll see this little dot, and maybe you can't see it on the screen, but it's right here, and you see where it says fade audio out. Click and drag that, and I usually like to drag it for a couple of different frames just so it's more subtle and doesn't, again, abruptly end. The more you pull it, the more subtle the ending's going to be. So here's an example. And for me, that's still a little too abrupt, so I'm going to play with this and just tug on this little circle and pull it out. Maybe to this frame. I'm going to hit the space key again on my keyboard and let it play. And I just go through this process over and over until I'm happy with the results. And that's a little bit more subtle for me. That's what I like. And if you want to watch your whole video before you export it, hit this little double arrow key right here where it lets you play it full screen. And you can just watch your video to proof it, to see if you like it, if you like the flow, if there's anything that needs to be changed. Because this is what it's going to look like before you export it. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to hit, let's see, the two little arrows down here to bring it back down. You can hit escape on your keyboard, but I am actually screen recording this, so I don't want to accidentally exit out. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor up here at the very beginning, and then I'm going to go ahead and export my file. So what I've just created is the Instagram version. I'm going to export my file, and I'm going to make sure that I name it. So this one's called Field of Dreams, and I'm going to title it Field of Dreams /-IG. Right there. And I'm just going to try to put whatever resolution is the highest, and everything else high quality for sure. I'd never do best. High has always been good enough. Just remember, most people are watching this on their cell phones. Compression, faster is fine. Description, if you want to put a description for your video, which is always good for searchability, you should. Format, video and audio is good. Click next, and it's going to ask you where you want to save. And I want to save it under the folder of which all the files for my project are. So I'm going to click on save, and then what it's going to do up here, you're going to see, and because I didn't actually do it this time, but you're going to see a little circle up here, and it's like a little pie, like a little clock that starts filling itself as it's exporting, and then it'll notify you once it's done. Once the file is done, it'll be saved on your computer in that folder that you designated. So I'm going to go to Documents and I'm going to find it on my computer. So this is my Instagram video, the one that we just exported. And it's 58 seconds long. It's ready to go. You can get it to your phone if you upload that way through either AirDrop if you have an iPhone, or I use Google Drive because I have an Android phone, or you can connect your phone to your computer and upload it that way, and then you can upload it to Instagram like you normally would upload something to your feed. For me, the Instagram videos are not branded, so I don't put any branding on there. I just play the video. Oh, thanks, Kita. I just play the video itself. So now, what I'm also going to do is create the video for Instagram TV. So if everybody's seen IGTV, this is the step where I'm going to teach you how to rotate in order to get it ready for Instagram TV. So if we go back to our project file, what I always recommend, especially if you need to go back and edit things, is that you just make duplicates of your project. So make sure that you rename your project, and I'm going to just call it FODIG because I already have this saved on my in my movie project, so I don't want a duplicate. As you see here, this is the original one that I made, and then this one because I deleted some files, and then this is one from the tutorial today. So I'm gonna make a duplicate. So what I did was I clicked on these three little buttons over here, and this prompt comes up, and I'm going to duplicate project, and it's going to create the same one. It's titled now FODIG1. I'm going to double click on it. It's going to load my project. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the first frame. So if you see down there, first frame, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the last frame, click Shift and click. Now what I'm going to do is go up to the crop right here. Oh wait, did I mess it up? No, right here, crop. And I'm going to rotate. I think it's rotate clockwise. And what it does is now it's rotated everything. Okay, so we export this as it is. I know it's not correct yet, but we will make it right in a moment. We'll go ahead and export this just like we exported the last video. So right there, we'll go to our little export key up here as a file. And you know how it says FODIG1? I'm going to rename this to IGTV. And this one I'm going to actually export because I'm going to show you how to rotate the file. IGTV example. So I'm just using EX for example because this is what I'm using to teach you. And if you see up here, there's the little pie that I was talking about. And it fills itself up as it exports and processes the file itself. Ta-da! And then it notifies me that it was successful. Now I'm going to go find it on my computer. Right here. I'm going to double click it. And if we look at it, you're going to see that it's completely wrong. You're like, what? It's sideways. How could that be? Well, I'll pause that real quick. I'm going to go to File in QuickTime. All right, come on. Edit, rotate, left. Ta-da! And now what we need to do is save it. So I'm going to hit the little X and it's going to prompt me here. I'm going to name it Field of Dreams, IGTV example final. This is just what I'm calling my files. I'm going to find the right folder to save it under, which is not that one. I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to hit save. And it's going to do its thing. It's going to save the file. Okay, and so now it's right here. And you can choose to be done at this point or do one more step. And I know this is going to be so redundant, but it's well worth it if this is something you're interested in doing. So you see now it's flipped to be portrait. And so now I can upload it to IGTV that only lets me upload portrait videos. So you can go ahead and just, like I said, airdrop it or put it on Drive for yourself to ready to put on IGTV. Or if you want to put your branding on there, we're going to go ahead and create a new project in iMovie. And we're going to find the file that we just created. We're going to drag it in. And so now, if we want, we can put titles, we can put anything else that we want to add. So for example, if you wanted to add, you know, let's just create an example. So I've dragged the title from here to here, and I've just extended the time that it is. And you'll see on here where it says title text here, we can type, you know, follow me or visit adbrucephotos.com for more tutorials, right? If you wanted to do something like that, you could do that. And so this is why I'm saying if you wanted to import it into iMovie to add your branding and your logo and all that stuff, you could go ahead and do that here. There's an ample amount of title screens or title, these little title cards that you can add if you just want to put your website on your video. But I personally don't like doing that. I just put it in the caption. It's your personal preference, and you can go ahead and export it just like I showed you to export the other two videos. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this project because I'm actually not going to use it. I'm just deleting. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing one last time for YouTube. And it's going to be exactly the same thing. We're just going to make some tweaks to make it a little bit longer, put your whatever branding you want on there. So I'm going to replicate mine right here. Actually, no, we're just going to go into it. I apologize. Let me take a step back. I'm so glad I'm recording this because I can delete this part. What you would do is replicate your IG project. So you're going to replicate your project right here, duplicate. Make sure that you name it properly. And I'm going to name it YouTube. So my shortcuts are always YT or IG for the social medias. And let's go into the actual YouTube one that I already created. I always go back to my work to reference what I've done before, especially just to have a consistent look and feel to all of my videos. So, okay, so I know that at about second number 1 or 2, I have this little card that pops up. And it says Instagram at adbrucephotos and thank you for watching. This is the only branding that I usually put into my videos. I put it in at the very beginning and then I put it in at the end for about 11 seconds. The other thing that I like to do is add that very last image. I add it on there twice. I add it here for 4 seconds and I like to do Ken Burns. And the reason why I like to do Ken Burns is because people can actually see it close up. So it'll take you from the top all the way to the bottom and then it fades into the actual image. And this image right here is 10 seconds long because that's where I usually like to put in, you know, please subscribe to my channel, watch this other video, etc. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just copy my branding card because I always like to have things consistently, and you can do it with Command C or I think right click copy. I'm going to go back to projects up here on the upper left hand side and I'm going to go to the example that we just created. I'm going to load that one up and right here at second number 1 I'm going to go ahead and hit Command V or right click paste. And it's going to go ahead and paste my card that I just copied from the other video. Oh, thanks, Benny. Thank you so much for watching. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at the very end. Just somewhere is fine. Just hit paste. That way it's there. Sorry. That way it's there and you can adjust it later. I'm going to look for my final image, which is this one, and I'm going to hit Command C to copy. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit Command V to paste. And it's going to paste the exact same file. I'm going to go to crop up here. And I'm going to hit Ken Burns. Ken Burns will allow you to adjust the crop where you want it to begin versus where you want it to end. So see how it says start right here and then it says end? I will sometimes move it a little bit closer to my subject, or more appropriately to my subject. And the reason why is because this card, or I keep calling them cards, but this image is only going to be about 4 seconds long. So before I change the timing on it, I'm going to go to my transitions and I'm going to select cross dissolve. I'm going to put it right here. You are welcome to choose whichever card you want. And so what I did was I clicked, sorry, can you see? I clicked and then I dragged and pasted it right in between those two images. And I'm going to paste over here at the very end, Command V, one last time, the same image. This time I'm going to change the timing up here to about 10 seconds. And we're going to have to adjust it once we put in the transition. All right, let's see. And for consistency, I always like to cross-reference my videos. So I'm going to go back to the one that I had already created and see what transition I use, because sometimes I do fade to black. Okay, that one I just did cross dissolve. All right, I'm going back to my video. We're here. I'm going to go ahead and click. Oh, this is so hard. And drop right there. So it's going to go from that to that. And if you see right here on info up there, it took half a second off for the transition. I want this card to actually be 10 seconds long. So I did that. Next thing, if you notice, that we need to do down here is extend the music. So I'm just clicking it and I'm pulling it to the very end until it snaps. And I like a longer transition in fading. So I'm just, this little guy that we talked about earlier, I'm just going to pull him out and I'm going to hit the space bar and just listen to see what it sounds like. And that might have been too long, so maybe we'll just start it right down here. And essentially, I'm just adjusting the fade until I am very happy with the way that it sounds. And so that's pretty good. I like that. I'm happy with that. So I'm taking a look. My video is only 1 minute and 5 seconds long. Remember over here what these two little arrows are, where it says play full screen, we can go ahead and watch our video and see if we're content with it. All right, and so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and minimize it by hitting these two little arrows down here. And over here, we're going to go ahead and export it. So I'm right here. I always like to put my cursor at the very beginning. It's just a weird OCD thing that I have. I'm going to go back here now to the right-hand side. I'm going to click this little guy, File, and I'm just going to rename it for YouTube. And I'm just going to make sure that it gets saved in my folder. You know, again, iMovie, video and audio. I'm trying to have the highest resolution possible. Quality high is fine. Faster is good. Hit next. It'll prompt you where to save it. Find the appropriate folder and save it in there. So I hit cancel, so we're not sitting here exporting this video. But now I'm going to minimize over here, and I'm going back to YouTube. Now this isn't a tutorial on how to upload stuff to YouTube, but in order to upload it, you can go to your YouTube channel and hit this little camera button that says upload video. All right, and then what you can do is you can drag and drop the video that you created for YouTube in there. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I have it already saved. Which I don't, for shame. What I would do, and I'm just going to use the Instagram one as an example. I'm just going to click and drag, and then it'll get uploaded to YouTube. So I have really slow internet, so this will probably take a few minutes, but I don't actually want to upload it. I'll be doing the social media for this blog post later. But But that essentially is how you create those short little videos, select your music, and create it in iMovie so that you have some video content to also share on social media. Does anybody have any questions before I end this live video? I'm just going to hang out for a couple of seconds and see if you have any questions. Oh, Jen, you're the best. I'm so glad. I hope that you learned something. You always know where to find me. I am just one Facebook message away. I hope this was very helpful. I did do a screen recording, so I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube. Guys, I'm also going to be putting this on my timeline for the next day. It'll be up for a whole day. And if you have any questions, just give me a holler. I'm at 80 Bruce Photos. You can find me Anna Bruce online on Facebook. 80brucephotos.com if you want to go through my website. Those are all ways to find me. So, oh good. So, funny story about that. Jen's asking about the canvas rotation. So the canvas rotation was something that I learned. So I'm a big fan of Google. Guys, anytime that I don't know how to do anything, which is pretty much most of my life, I ask Google. And so what I wanted to do was put some of my speed edits on my IGTV. And also I have some videos that we recorded landscape that I wanted to put on IGTV, but because they were landscape, IGTV wouldn't let me, which was very frustrating. So I Googled a tutorial on how to do it, and that was what I learned. So it was really cool. And I know it's a two-step process. There's probably a lot better ways to do it and other programs that will do it a lot smoother. But I'm all about problem solving. So that was what I learned from my tutorial. Yay, thanks, Jen. All right. Well, if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and bounce now. I'm so grateful. Thanks for sticking with me for this past 42 minutes. It has been fun. I just really love teaching. So if you really liked it, let me know. If there's any critiques, also let me know. And I hope that you have an amazing day.